right, so welcome to the Beginner Mentorship 2024. So excited to have you guys here, especially the ones that are catching the replay, the ones that are actually here, you get to ask questions, which you will have a lot of questions. And that's to be expected. I want you to have a lot of questions. I need you to have a lot of questions. I can tell you in advance, this is where the emotional roller coaster will begin. Okay, you will question yourself. I will push you, I will pull, and I will drag you to the finish line. Because if you say you are here, then you are here for a reason. And I want you all to know that you are in good hands and you will be okay. You just have to trust the process. You just have to know that timing is everything. And everybody has a different time frame. Everybody has a different course. And I need you to be okay where you are. It's a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Okay. So some of you guys will, out the gate go running. Some will be like, okay, I don't know. This is not making sense. But we have time to work it out. There are some things that I will definitely say, hey, I will spend a little bit more time focusing on, because that is where you need to place your focus, right? I'm a real stickler on numbers, because this is actually the third cohort of the mentorship, and everybody, beginner, advanced, everywhere, everybody gets stuck on the numbers. So I hone in on that a lot. I talk about numbers in every capacity. I talk about numbers in acquisition numbers. I talk about numbers in relationship to your credit, your income, your expenses. We get all up in your business, okay? I get all up in your business because you need to know when you get ready to get these properties, other people will be in your business too. And it helps to know, like, before they know. So you never go, I never want, when we get to the point when we start talking to lenders and we start asking for money, we start, working on partnerships, which is down the line, you know exactly where you stand. You will know exactly what to say. You will know exactly how to maneuver in this business. So that's what this mentorship is for. So that you can, right now, you're going to remember this day. You're going to be like, I don't know anything, or I know a little bit. But by the end, you will be a perfectionist. You will be a professional investor. And my goal is to help you reach your goals and to get to the closing table. Okay, by any means necessary, we get down to business. All right. So this one is just a I'm gonna share my screen. I share my screen a lot because there's some things that we just need to that we're gonna cover, and I need you guys to know what we're gonna be talking about in this mentorship. And you guys will get a pretty version of this, trust me, because you'll be adding on. So if you have a printer, or if you have like a digital notepad and stuff like that, this is where you may want to take some of those, like start building that up, because you're gonna always need it as a reference. I'm telling you, you will need it as a reference. I've had people try and say, no, I can commit it to memory. No, I don't need to print it out. And then when I say, when we're in week 10, and we need to revisit something in week 1, I'm like, where are your notes? Where are your notes? And so we're gonna always refer back to something, and it's gonna always lead back. Been doing this long enough to know where people get stuck at, and where the hangups are, and where we need to kind of maneuver. So the dates of the mentorship, just kind of wanted to give you an overall like just a kickoff meeting so that you'll know exactly what's going to be happening moving forward. So the dates of the mentorship is going to be every first and third Wednesdays. I used to do them every week, but after the last two cohorts, they were like, this is a lot. This is a lot of work. I'm getting behind because it's a lot of homework. It's a lot of digging into your stuff that needs a little bit more time. So it gives you time to do the assignments, do the research you need to, so that when you come back, you can come back to the table and you're prepared, you're informed, and you're ready to go. I do encourage everyone to spend at least 2 to 3 hours digging into real estate. And I'll tell you, like, hey, you need to be looking at this, you need to be looking at that. And because I want you to get familiar with terms, how to look at properties, how to evaluate properties, or what do you see first glance. And so what I'll be training you to do is look at things from an investor standpoint and how to see from an eye of an investor. Because a lot of us have bought, our personal homes, our forever homes, and so there's some type of an attachment there, right? So I'll be showing you, because there's going to be some attachment in these investment properties. So I'll be showing you how not to get attached to the properties, how to look at them, how not to marry the properties, okay? And how not to fall in love, and just, it's okay to, love the property and like the property because you want to do, you see the potential and you see the things that you can do with the property. But as far as falling in love and marrying the property, it's not our forever home, okay? We are creating homes for other people. So if you keep that in mind, you will do very, very well. So the only time the dates will vary with the mentorship is if it falls on a holiday, or pretty much if it falls on a holiday or a holiday weekend, then I'll either move it up or either move it back. So either way, I will let you guys know ahead of time, but the schedule pretty much is first and third Wednesday. So if you can kind of clear your schedules or make sure that you can adjust your schedules for that accordingly, we will chuckle right along. Okay, so the length of time in these mentorship meetings will be anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. Now, the deeper we get in, I can tell you it will go an hour and a half. Sometimes we have gone 2 hours before and it did not feel like 2 hours because it was so much to cover and it was so many questions. Once we get down to some of the assignments where we are reviewing, or we're doing role play, or we're doing hot seats, those can tend to go a little bit longer. When we're working on strategy, when we're doing mock calls, when we're doing interviews, when we are doing those type of things, they're fun and they will roll over a little bit longer. So anywhere between an hour and a half. And sometimes people have a lot of questions. And sometimes I go back for clarity to make sure that if I see that you're stuck, because I can gauge pretty well when people are kind of stuck and don't want to say they're stuck because they're like, everybody else is further along than I am and I'm a little stuck, but I'm scared. I can tell that. I can tell that nobody can get over and hide anything and, go under the radar. Not on my watch. That does not happen. Okay. If you happen to miss, it's a lot to commit to every first and third Wednesday. Sometimes things happen, like you said, like tonight you had things going on. Life be life and things happen, especially when it's graduations or holidays or things like that. That's why I try to adjust to see what's going on. But in case you cannot make it, there will always be a replay. And you will get a replay. The only way that you won't get a replay is if No one showed up, and I just canceled it all together and moved it that week up, moved that week back. Because it's kind of hard to teach a lesson when no one is there because it's very hands-on, very interactive. So it's even though I'll have like a topic and a subject to cover, it's hard to do with no one there. So then I'll just push it back. Now, what I have noticed, and I don't want you guys to do, even those that are watching the replay, is when you get stuck or you don't do the homework, that doesn't mean don't show up. Because that's happened in the past where, you know, people have been like, okay, well, I'm super behind, or I feel like I'm behind, and I haven't done the assignment, so I'm lost. When you come back, will you be lost? Maybe a little bit, but I'm very good at catching you up and seeing where you are. So I encourage you, maybe before, you know, just even if you, to look at the replays as soon as possible if you miss, or use the replays as a refresher, because sometimes we cover a lot and you may really need to just go back and look at the replays and say, hey, I really didn't understand that, but watching it a couple of times sometimes may help you through it. Another thing is, I've also had people when they were stuck or a little confused, and they sent me, my time was a little bit more flexible then, but if you have questions, you could always send me an email and ask your question, and I will always get back to you. If there's something, some forms or documents or things that you need, I will always, you know, get that to you or have my assistant send it to you, but you always have what you need. And I don't want you to not ask the question, because that question may help someone else, right? That question may help someone else get stuck. So there are no dumb questions. There are no, because you guys don't know what you don't know. This is a very, very new endeavor, brand new project, brand new, like all of it's new. So I want you to take it as if I'm learning and I don't know. And so I'm going to ask because I don't know. Because when we start diving into, we had tenants, like it was a thing where we had tenants. And as we were going, people were getting properties throughout the mentorship. And so they were like, okay, I'm stuck. Now I need leases, or I'm in the buying process. I need help with this. So everyone else wasn't there. So that was kind of like a sidebar conversation that I had to help them get through, because again, you may be further along than someone else, and you may be buying 1 month and someone is buying 3 months later, but you need the information now. Even though we're talking about it down the road, I'll kind of speed up that part and get you up to speed, right? Because we're talking about different property types and things like that. So I've even had some mentees 3 or 4 months in and say, you know what, I'm still going to go through the mentorship, but I'm ready to buy now. Like, oh, well, okay. All right. So we just kind of streamline and feed that process, and they still go. They still go through the process, even though they're buying. The learning never stops, because once you buy that property, it doesn't end with me, right? You know, even after the mentorship, it doesn't end with me. You guys will meet the old mentees. They'll come back. They'll tell you their experiences, because once a month I bring everybody together to talk about their wins, to talk about what's going on. What are they stuck on? If they need help with something, some that didn't quite get to the point where they wanted to be or needed to be, because maybe they got it at month 11 or month 12, where it was like, oh man, I really you know, didn't have the time to really put into it, right? I've had some right at the very end say, you know what, I think I just need to start it all over because I really wasn't focused, right? So that happens. That happens. But what I can say is, if you start strong in the beginning and you stay with it, this process can be very seamless. And this process can be, it will be challenging at times, but it's pushing you, and you will thank me later for a lot of the things that you learn. Some of the topics, this is not all of them, because it is, remember, we're here for a long time and a good time. Okay, so these are some of the topics that I feel that's important that I need you guys to know that we'll be covering. We will be talking about personal credit. We will be building your business credit. Understanding real estate numbers. That's all the numbers included with an acquisition. Again, as I was saying, knowing where you are credit wise, knowing where you are, your strengths are with banking, loans, or if you're gonna self-fund. All those things are building into what we call your property strategy. Okay, so those, understanding those numbers will help me understand what exactly it is we should be doing with you and we should be doing for you. So your property strategy, do you want to fix and flip? Do you want to buy and hold? Do you want to do short-term, mid-term, long-term? Okay, do you even want a single family? Do you want a duplex? Do you want a multifamily? Do you want a mobile home? Do you want land? Do you want commercial properties? Possibilities are endless, right?
Mhm.
And so we are going to explore that, because you'll be coming in with one thing and your mind set on, I want to do this. Yep. Everybody came in like, yeah, I want to do this. This is where I want to be. Into 3, 4, 6 weeks in, they're like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. This is better for me and what I want to do. I've had, people change their strategy multiple times. I myself have changed my strategy multiple times to fit the times that we are in, right? It's, do you want to be more of a cash flow? Do you want more equity? Those strategies are so different. And so understanding where you are with that and what you really want to do, and understanding, breaking down your strategy, we spend a little time on that. We spend time with that because it can be a lot. And choosing, finding, understanding a strategy can take a while because you don't know. So sometimes that's even me bringing in people, or showing you clips and videos that we've done before of people coming in talking about different strategies on what to do, right? I'll bring my lender in to say, talk to you guys about the new interest rates, new qualifications as an investor, because it's totally different as a first-time home owner, or, if you're buying your forever home. Those qualifications are totally not the same, right? So everything is different in that regard. So, some of the numbers are like, oh wow, man, it's different being an investor. So all of the things that we're going to cover before are going to prepare you for just that, right? So I want you guys to come in knowing that you have to have a strong strategy. Even though it may change, I want you to know that you can have multiple strategies as well. I do. I have multiple strategies. I don't just have one. Every property that I have serves a different purpose, right? And I have a different property for in a different strategy. So all of them work, but it's property specific. And that's what we are going to tap into too, right? Because a lot of people are thinking, oh, this property is here and I want to do this and I want to do that. It's like, no, what does the market say you can do with this property? What does the market dictate? The market can dictate that. Sometimes you can't, but when you get the property, you have to figure out what's the best strategy for that particular property. And how can you maximize the potential of that property, the earning potential? Because I'm very big on that. How can I get the most money out of this property? What does that look like? Is that higher rent? And if it's higher rent, what does that look like? Who am I renting to get the higher rent, right? So all of that we're going to cover. Markets. I know you guys, I have a lot of people that come and start in Detroit and want to, invest in Detroit specifically because I'm here, I'm tapped in, I live here, and I'm here every day. So I'm boots on the ground. So a lot of people tend to feel more comfortable because I am here and tapped in. But I've also had mentees that were elsewhere and invested elsewhere, like St. Louis, New York, Houston. So it just depends on where you are. This format and this strategy and what I teach, you can use it anywhere. You can take it anywhere. It's just the market is just different. We have to understand your market, okay? But you can take the strategy, you can take it and take it anywhere. When I flew down to St. Louis to help a mentee work through this process and build her team, build her lending team, get with her realtor, and find and structure the perfect deal for her market, because it was a little different. Like her market is tricky because there's certain counties that are really, really good and some that are, not so much, but you get higher rents and higher returns. So setting her up and knowing that with the right realtor, collaborating with the realtor that's going to put her and set her up for the best position, in the best position, so that she can maximize her money, right? And going back to, okay, what are the things that are going to put you in the best position for this? Is it more money? Is it, a better neighborhood? So all of those strategies, all of those things, as we dissect and look at properties in the market that you want to look at, because that's another thing. We will look at properties. We will get down to the nitty gritty and look at properties and do our research and to see, hey, is this something, is this the market you really want to be in? Okay. Assignments, again, you'll have assignments every single week. We will talk about our struggles and challenges because there will be some. There will be some. Do not get discouraged. So I say, do not get discouraged. Okay. So one thing that we always, no matter what, even in my advanced mentorship cohort, one thing that I always start with in week 1 is mindset. Okay. The mindset is super, super important because we can talk ourselves out of anything, right? Because it's hard. Our family can talk us out of anything. Jealous people can talk us out of anything. And just the enemy itself can talk us out of anything. So you have to, mindset is important, and because you're here, so obviously you knew that you could do this. Obviously something in you said, you know what, it's time. This is something I'm gonna go ahead and do it by any means necessary. Yes, I am ready to take that leap. I am ready to do it. Something in you wanted you to be here, okay? Whether it's fate, faith, or whatever it is, you are here for a reason. So I want you to remember that when it gets challenging, okay? And remember that your mindset is everything. I want you guys to remain positive. I want you to know that anything worth having is worth working for. And you are doing things that most people can't or will not and won't do. Because it's a scary thing sometimes to invest. I started investing. I had no mentor. I had no coach. I had to learn everything one-on-one the hard way. And I was like, I don't want anyone else, especially anyone that looks like me, to have those issues. If I can save anyone a pitfall, if I can save anyone from themselves or making a mistake, I will do it. Especially, like I've had clients that were really wanting to buy bad properties. And I'm like, no, because it's not about the money for me, right? It's not about the money for me in any deal, any transaction, because I don't want anybody to have buyer's remorse. I don't want anybody to feel bad about their decision. And one thing, if I say this, if I wouldn't do it, I suggest you not do it. And that's real talk. And I've had some people say, you know, all the time, like I have my clients say, well, would you buy it? Because they know if I say no, it's time to walk away. And it's okay to walk away, because sometimes we don't realize what a bad deal is. You won't know what a bad deal is until somebody really breaks it down to you and you go back to your core. Okay. So going to your core is goals. It's another thing we do after we shift our mindset and we are steadfast on our mindset and we are like, you know what, we are in it to win it. We're gonna do this thing. We gonna thug it out no matter what. And what that entails is setting goals. So that is actually going to be the first assignment for this week. The first assignment, I need everybody to come back and ask, and then it'll be on a pretty sheet as well. So I'll send you guys a document. But you, in the meantime, when you get the document, because it'll go out with the replay, and all the replays, they'll come out, give me at least 48 hours, because sometimes they have to upload and process because the file is pretty big, especially if they're like an hour and a half. Tonight we should just go about maybe 45 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. But your assignment, I need you to tell me these goals. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in this journey? Like future wise, what does that look like for you? Where do you want to be? The next question I want you to answer is, what do you need? What do you need in order for that to happen, for you to get to where you want to be? What do you need? And be realistic. Be as honest and transparent as possible, because when you start realizing, when you start putting that on paper, when you start talking about it, you will start getting the things that you need. It's one of those things like closed mouths don't get fed. You don't know who's in the room. You don't know who knows who. You don't know who is like, hey, I'm connected with such and such. I can do that. That's no big deal. That's what you want. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. So don't worry about anything, but pray about everything, okay? So what do you need? And then the next thing is, what do you want? Because your needs and your wants are totally different, right? So what do you want? I want you guys to think about, and it's okay to say what you want. What do you want? Is that dollar amount a thing? And what dollar amount is that? Think about all the things you want. You want a new car, you want a new house, you want financial freedom, you want all the things that you want. I need to know that. Because believe it or not, that ties back into the properties that you get. So think about it like that. So we're going somewhere. You got to stick, hang in there and stick with me on that. But it will tie into the future, the right now. But I need to understand your goals. I need to understand where you are right now. What do you need? What do you want? What do you feel that is going to take to get you to where you need to be? Sometimes it's just a conversation. Sometimes it's meeting the right people. Sometimes it's education. It could be an array of things, but all the things centered around, what do you want and what do you need? And one other thing that I need y'all to do, because I want to start working on this as early as possible, because I've learned from the last cohorts, this can take a while. So I need everyone to pull your credit report. Not just to score, but pull your credit reports. It's free to pull your credit reports. And remember, we're gonna constantly, every week or every something, you're gonna hear me talk about numbers often. Very, very often. So Angel, since you're here, question.
Yes.
How are you feeling, or what do you need? Like, where are you? I know you've been excited for a while. So
Like I'm taking notes, I'm writing. Yeah, it's a lot. Still excited, listening to everything. Um, I think when you were saying the three questions of where do you want to be on this journey, I definitely want to be more educated on this. Um, I want to know the ins and outs. Um, and I want to see it through. I want this again for me. It's something that I've wanted for a long time, but like you said, being afraid, not knowing who to talk to, who to ask. But then when you're around the people that know, as you said, you start talking about it and they, oh, I know somebody, I got you. So just ready for this journey that I'm about to go on. I'm ready to just see it through. Um, a need is the education behind it all, to know again the ins and outs, the where to go, the how to's, to know that I'm doing it right. Um, and something else you said, like at first I just thought I wanted a house. I just wanted a house to rent out. Now I might want a duplex. I mean, like I want a duplex, like and then short term, do you want to Airbnb style, but I want a long term. I want it to last. I want it to be something for someone else as well as for my own self. And the want to be comfortable, the want to be able for the next few years, my husband to get ready to retire and that we're okay with no worries. Um, and to travel and to just do this again once I um get it and think I have it down, then go again and do it again. I do want more than one. um and I'm excited. I'm ready.
I know you are.
So
I know you are. And
that's
I
all I
feel like
got.
you are going to do well. You had a good referral. So I know if you're anything on the lines of her, you are going to do exceptionally well. And I've seen what happens when people stick with it and let it run its course and go all the way, right? I've seen, you know, I had an introduction from someone else that's in this on this side of the mentorship, and introduced me to someone else, and she was like, I really, yeah, I want to be in the mentorship, but I really just want to start buying properties now. And now we have like 4 offers on properties, and she's learning as she's going. Now she's getting like private coaching. So everybody has their own pace. Everybody has their, like, yeah, I want to be hands on, I want to be hands off. You have some people that say, hey, I want to know just enough, but then I'll, turn it over to somebody else and let them handle it. And then, but I've seen so many done for you programs and people that just, pay people to do everything for them, which is fine because sometimes you just don't necessarily have the time to do that. But I'm the teacher person how to fish, right? I feel like if you learn, then and you learn how to scale in this business, and you learn just I would say just more than the basics, you can do so much with that. You can do so much with that, and you can accumulate and you can grow your portfolio so quick. It's just like you said, it's like, and just like that, you was like, yeah, I just thought I wanted a house. Now I think I want a duplex.
Mm-hmm.
Very doable.
Sound.
If you can do one, you can do the other, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time. It's kind of the same thing. Like I just had, some clients that just bought last month, and we closed on a single family, and they were like, I think we want a duplex now. Like, hey, okay, let's go for it. So knowing, what you want, and you're opening up to the possibilities. That's that shift in the mindset, right? When you know that it's more to explore, that it's more opportunities and more things out there. And so that's what I plan to really just stretch y'all imagination so that y'all can see that it is so much more out here, right? It is so much more when you um, understand that housing and real estate is one of the markets that, even though it fluctuates, but it remains same because everybody needs housing, right? There's a major shortage of housing, and to be a part of that market, like right now, is the best time. So I tell people, especially, it depends on what market. If you're in the Midwest, best time right now because the rates are great. Um, the housing, the cost is up, but you have more cities that are getting money and putting more money into the cities, and then when that happens, the price of properties are going to go up, and you're going to be priced out. Nobody's going to be able to get them anymore, right? It's going to be the barrier to entry is going to be higher. So right now, when it's low, telling people you may want to get y'all one of these. You may want to come. Come on in and get one of these, especially in 5 years when you see the growth and you're seeing anywhere between 15 and 20% an increase in your property every single year. That's more than what you're getting in the bank. You know what I mean? So when you're seeing the value go up 15 to 26% every year in your properties, that is like, what more can you ask for? Right? And it's constantly going up. It's not going, it's not going the other way. So it's a win-win for everybody. So you have your homework. Do you have any questions thus far?
No, I'm just excited. That's it. Well, no one. So you're gonna like the notes, you're gonna email them to us
Mm-hmm.
and then I just print them. Okay, just want to
Yeah,
make
so
sure.
basically it'll be a recap email. The first one is going to be from me, then the next ones are going to be from my assistant, but it's going to have the replay, it's going to have any attachments like the forms, it's going to have the recap of the homework to make sure that you have that and that is done. You can either email it back to me, email the homework back to me, or because we're going to discuss it anyway when we come back and when we meet the next time. So you can, because I'll say, hey, what are your goals? Because I want everybody to kind of be on the same page. I want everybody to know everybody. It's like you're building your own little community within your community, even though you're going to meet the other mentees at some point. But the ones that you kind of go through with, you have you guys have a special bond, what I see, right? And all of them, everybody has like a little group, a little pack or whatever. And eventually, like the alumni end up in a Facebook group that I'm creating. So having that camaraderie with that, and you guys are, like buddies, because you can challenge each other and say, hey,
Mhm.
where are you, and kind of help each other along the way and stuff like that. So, and then you guys always have me as well, because I stay in everybody's business. Because I need to know where everybody is. I need to know what's going on, what's happening, and I just love to report the progress and see everybody win. So you will, you will get every week, every time that we meet. By Friday, you'll have all of the information. And then probably in a couple of weeks when I start dropping more forms, more documents. It's a lot to keep up with. So I start a Google folder for you guys that you have access to pull those forms, because you're going to be needing them later on. Like you're going to be needing stuff when I start talking about the qualifications for lending, when we start talking about business credit stuff and the process and the procedure. Sometimes it can be a lot. And so there's, documentation and documents that you guys can follow, checklists. I'm real big on checklists. So you guys will have a ton of checklists to make sure that you are staying strategic and organized when you're talking to a lender, or you're going through the process, the buying process, or you're going through just even looking what to look for, how to deal with, there'll be contracts in there when we go through those and stuff like that. And we talk about all those things. So yeah, you guys will definitely have a full pack Google Drive with a lot of homework and a lot of things throughout this process. So typically how it's set up with you guys, I changed the format a little bit since you guys are with me a year, because it's like people like, a year, Lord. When I tell you it passed by so fast, it passed by fast, because the last cohort, when they were in a year, they were like, whoa, wait, it's been a year already. Yeah, you gotta go now. You gotta go. But I changed you guys' format to where 6 months we are hands-on, we're preparing to purchase. So everything is very strategic for the first 6 months. Then the next 6 months, it's all about purchasing. It's all about going out to the properties. It's all about taking site visits. It's all about tours. It's all about all the things and going out to really understand. It's walking, talking, looking, and hands-on everything with the property. Inspections, all that. So you guys will see a lot. You guys will, I'll be, because right now I'm in this series that I'm doing of this investor series of first looks. So you guys will get to see a lot of the stuff that the public doesn't see, of the behind the scenes of different properties and inspections, and how I kind of negotiate deals with contractors and stuff like that. And how I really feel about properties. If I'm like, yeah, no, we're not getting this, or just like my negotiation tactics and stuff like that, and how I really go to bat on negotiating, especially if I feel like a property should be lower, or you can get a better deal, or whatever the case may be. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Well, I said right about probably 45 minutes. So that's up. Next week is probably going to be a little over an hour from where we're going to be from what's on the agenda. So you'll have the replay and everything by Friday. In the meantime, you have any questions, don't forget the link. Let's go back to the link. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. You let me know if you need anything, you have any questions, concerns.
Nope, I took some notes, so I'm gonna rewrite my notes so I can understand them.
Yeah, yes.
I was just jotting, writing fast, but
right, because you're gonna need them, and I'm gonna say, so remember week 1, remember week 2. Yeah, because my notes come in handy, and I take, detailed notes as well. So I always be like, okay, remember, week 6, we talked about that. So we want to stay on top of that. All right.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Well, in the meantime, between time, you have a good evening, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
That's ma'am. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.